Well, Connecticut's own Dr. Miguel Cardona is heading up education efforts for our country, and Channel 3's Kara Sundlun had a chance to talk to him about what education looks like as we emerge from the pandemic.
There's an opportunity, as we've been talking about silver linings with the pandemic, perhaps you say, not to go back to the status quo. Yet there's been a lot of loss in education, with some students not even logging on. What do you foresee come fall?
You know, I expect across the country that every student has an opportunity to be in school full time every day. And as you mentioned, it's not good enough to go back to how it was before March 2020. There were gaps in access and opportunities and outcomes before then. It's our time as educators across the country to build back better and make sure that the programs that we have in our schools provide opportunities for all students to succeed.
What would be number one for you? I know you've experienced this. You came not speaking English. You ended up rising to be one of the youngest principals in the history of our state. You really made a mark for yourself, and you won opportunity for other students. If you could snap your fingers, like, what needs to change sooner rather than later?
You know, I was given the opportunity through public schools in Meriden, and thankfully those experiences helped me be Secretary of Education. So I want all students to have the opportunity to be seen, to be heard, to make sure that their social and emotional well-being is cared for when they come back after a pandemic. We know how traumatic it was. So balancing the social and emotional response that we know our students need with high, rigorous academic standards that engage students, that's critically important. Making sure that we're providing education in new and innovative and creative ways that engage all students, engage all families into that learning process.
I know a lot of moms are worried, oh my gosh, I think my kids fell behind. Are you worried about that?
You know, as a father, I think about that also for my own two children. But what I worry about most is the lack of social engagement that they had this past year. So I'm excited about schools bringing students back in a way where they're academically catching up and making sure that they have what they lost there, but also engaging in social activities and making sure that they have opportunities to take advantage of career pathways and all the things that they weren't exposed to through Zoom. We're doing an equity summit next week to really get the conversation going about how we can build back better. We have some amazing thinkers and educators from across the country that are going to be discussing best ways to think about equity at the center of reopening schools.
Let me just ask you one more thing. We're going into summer. The kids really want to play, but there's also summer school programs going on. What would you advise parents to do to balance the need to catch up with the need to be kids?
Listen, let them play. They deserve this. They've been working so hard this past year. But summer school or summer enrichment opportunities don't have to look too different from playing. I know the governor extended programming and funding for the YMCAs, the Boys and Girls Club, all these camps that have also been in the last year not having as many people register because they've been closed down. Let's let them create creative programs, and let's partner our schools with these places. Kids should be fishing, they should be kayaking, they should be outdoors this summer learning, but also enjoying themselves around their friends because they've missed their friends too. I think we could all do it. We could do it together. We need to reimagine what summer school looks like.
Okay, you heard it from the Secretary of Education. It's okay to go play. Thank you, Secretary, for being with us, and we look forward to seeing some good changes in the fall.
Thank you. Take care.